hopefully get some fishing and not get struck by lightning. I'm starting to think this paddleboard's cursed. Oh, you got something? Yeah. Hey y'all, it's Bradley with Saltwater Nomads. In today's video, we have a catch, clean, and cook. We also have a salvage paddleboard that I'm pretty sure is cursed. We get the cops caught on us, so stick around and I'll show you my favorite way to clean a redfish. A lot of people miss out on what I think is the best part, so stick around and we'll have a good time. And today we're doing some bridge fishing. So hopefully we can catch a red that's the right size to keep, because I've been wanting to show you guys something I see with people playing reds. They end up leaving out the best part of the fish, in my opinion. So hopefully we can catch one, but today we're just going after something to eat. That's where we're gonna be fishing. So I grew up in this neighborhood and my dad used to bring me out here and we'd watch people fish. Oddly enough, I didn't own any fishing poles growing up. So my family's more into sports and that's what we did. But every time I went to my grandparents' house, they lived over by Steenhatchee and lived on the canal. And me and my brother spent all day, every day fishing. We lived across the street from a canal in our neighborhood. When we got a little older and moved out from here, and still didn't own any fishing poles. So just a weird thing, because Jacksonville has such a great fishery. How y'all doing? Good morning. But I fish as much as I can now, so I'm making up for a misspent youth. So it looks like we got the last bit of outgoing. Over here I've caught some flounder, so we might throw some plastics. I'm gonna start out today throwing this, which I've seen become a little more popular online. So the idea is you can throw it and get topwater strikes as well as something underneath as well. So let's see if it works. I'm interested to see what the action on this thing is, because it doesn't seem like that topwater is going to be dancing like it should. But we'll find out. All right, we got something. Tried to hit the topwater. Already getting strikes. All right, not bad for a first cast. Let's throw again and see what happens. See, and that's kind of what I'm concerned about. This hook keeps getting caught up in the leader. Like, I don't know if it was like that when we got that strike. That might have been why we missed it. Let's get some live bait out. And we'll keep throwing this thing around. That's it while I tie on a bottom rig. What I like about this bridge is it has rod holders someone came and put on here. A lot of neighborhood kids fish out here. There's normally always someone up here. Luckily I'm not working this Friday morning, so I got it all to myself. All right, seeing a lot of fish hit right here where these bait are sitting. Right there. So all that is just like a Carolina rig, 3/4 ounce weight. So this is actually where my daughter, my oldest daughter, has her personal best. It's when it comes to redfish, she caught a 24-inch red out of here. Bad cast. Lost my shrimp. But yeah, I really like this place. It's not far from the house, and you can catch big reds. I've had reds that were over slot break me off. It's just a fun place to fish, and it's beautiful. Sunrise is over here, sunset's over there, so either evening or morning you're gonna have a beautiful environment. Alright, we got something. It might be a crab though. Alright, what we got? First fish of the day. And it is a little trout. Not a fish we wanted to keep, but it's a start. All right, that's gonna be it for right now. All we got was the one little trout, but I'll probably bring the family up here this evening and see if we have any better luck. It's dead low tide, so I'm calling it. I don't think we're gonna catch anything else. The water's barely moving, so we'll see you this evening. So I'm on my way home from work, and look what I found. It looks like they're throwing it out. Tomorrow's trash day, so let's see. Fin's broken up on it. Got some scratch marks on it, but it's got a plug. I'll knock and see if there's anyone home and see if they're getting rid of it. They said they're getting rid of it, so let's load it up in the truck and then we'll take it fishing and see if we catch anything. That shouldn't go nowhere. Soon I'm going to do a video on the boat build. I've had this boat for a while, maybe about 2 or 3 years. I've completely rebuilt it, new transom, glassed in all these boxes. It just had a box that was rotted. Casting platform, got a lot of sanding stuff to do. Kind of give you the rundown, tell you if it was worth it or not. We got a lot of projects to get to. Most of them are boat projects, fishing projects. Picked up another little project, but we'll take it out on the water. We'll catch some fish. Maybe do a catch, clean, cook. Here we are, day 3 of trying to catch something with this setup. So we got the spook and the trailing paddle tail. We have the salvage paddle board that we got out of the trash someone's throwing away. So we'll see if we can catch something. It's about 6:30 in the morning and low tide is about an hour. It's been raining a lot, so I don't think there's gonna be much luck, but this is their best shot. So it's the only time I got to do it today. So let's get to it. Little dolly I made because it's probably, I don't know, half a mile walk to the place we're gonna put in through the trail. So let me throw the rest of the stuff on and we'll get to walking. All right, here we go. Got some fresh raccoon tracks. It's a decent sized one too by the footprints. Whew. I'm getting ate up by mosquitoes. The horseflies are out. It's just absolutely crazy how many they are. But that's wild Florida for you. Hopefully this dock's open. It makes me a little worried seeing all this lumber out here. All right. This may end up being a little tricky. Ugh. So it looks like the tide is too low for me to get out. All I gotta do is make it about, I don't know, 100 feet. And I know it's deep enough right there. All right, well, the tide is too low, as you can tell. Around that bend, looks like there's no water, so there's no way for me to get out there. But I guess I'm just gonna take the rods home and then come back in like an hour or two. And we'll see what we get. Kind of stinks because kind of ruins our topwater bite, but we'll see if we can. We'll still try it, see if we get anything. But we'll be back in a couple hours. Hopefully no one messes with it. I don't see why they would, but only thing worth anything is that cooler, and it's pretty gross. So all right, we're back for round two. Let's see if the tide's coming enough that we can get the paddleboard out and into the actual deeper water to fish. So the angle on my GoPro when I got here was facing straight down. I didn't realize it, but this is kind of the walk to the fishing spot. All right, well, hopefully we'll catch something that we can eat. So we'll do a catch, clean, and cook. If we do, we'll see you out there. Well, hopefully the paddleboard's still there. I think it will be, but we'll find out in a second. All right, we're back. It's 12 hours later. It's raining. I brought a friend. The tide was still too low earlier today, so we're gonna walk back out there and hopefully get some fishing, not get struck by lightning. The cell passed already, so we should be good, but it flooded. You can see the storm drain. But crazy. Hopefully we survive. I got Jordan with me. We're gonna have a fish off.
Yeah, you're gonna win.
Yeah, we'll see who gets the better fish, or if we get any at all. So. You just put it in right here. Yeah, that's where I almost busted earlier. This is where it gets sketchy. Dang it, the water's still too low. We're not gonna be able to get out. You gonna go to Dutton Island?
Castaway?
Yeah.
Castaway's just close.
Like, I could get out, but I don't think you can, because there's that stump right up there. I don't think you can get over. Looks like I waited too long. I had too much stuff to do at the house.
Tide's still going out, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it's switched. It just started going out. Maybe it wasn't a very high tide. I wonder if that shrimp's still alive.
Well, if you're if it's going out, we're definitely not. If we get out now, we're definitely not going to get.
Yeah, we're not getting back in. We'll have to get rescued from Beach Boulevard Bridge.
Dang.
Yeah, this isn't too much better than it was this morning. Well, now we know. We'll make a plan and we'll find somewhere else to go. All right, so this spot was a complete fail. So we're going to another spot we should be able to put in. There's a couple of parks we could go to, but they close at sunset, which is only like an hour and a half from now. And it depends on what their version of sunset is. So we'll see you in the next spot. I'm starting to think this paddleboard's cursed. My little redneck trolley didn't really hold up. Made it most of the way, but it gave out on me. So it's just one of those days, nothing's working out, but we're gonna go somewhere. We're gonna find fish. We're gonna catch something to eat. I'm just gonna drag this thing back to the truck. Just another day. At the next spot, but we're not gonna put the paddleboards out. It's almost dark, the sun's starting to set. So we're gonna fish off the bridge for a little bit and just see if we catch anything. I doubt it. The water's dirty from all the rain, but we'll see. We'll keep you updated. But this sunset though, can't beat that. I'd rather be here doing this than anything else. That's awesome. All right, so I got a blue crab. The guy just handed it to me. Hopefully you guys can see. But he was just checking his bait trap. Pretty much all that was in there. So I'll toss this chunk out and see if you get anything. There's just something moved right there. Ain't no one gonna catch you out here.
I love that there's rod holders on the side of the bridge.
Just saw something big hit right where I put that thing.
Try this old bait catcher.
Alright. Oh, we got something. Yeah. Alright, we got something on here. It's on a, is that a stingray? Might be a stingray. I'm not sure what that is. Swimming at me now. Can you grab that rod out of the road? Well, at least we didn't get skunked. We caught something. Oh, that's a redfish, I think. Well, can't tell how big it is. Actually, we're going to have to bring it over this way. Yeah, it's definitely a redfish. I'm not sure if it's big enough. Should have brought a net. Got a second wind. There's some rocks right here. Well, after the day we've had, I'm glad we caught something. Oh yeah, that's a decent sized red. I just gotta keep them from coming off. Oh yeah, that's a keeper, baby. Heck yeah. That's awesome. There we go. Got it. That is a nice red right there, baby. Look at that. Nice 4 spots on this side, another 4 on that side. This thing's beautiful. Let's get him up here and we'll see how big he is. Definitely slot though. Look at that, baby. Ooh, my thumb pretty good. He still wants to get away. All right, we got 20 and a half inches. Heck yeah. You're going straight to the cooler, buddy. Look at that sunset. Look at that right here. Turned a day that didn't seem like it was going to be anything into dinner. So I'll flay this guy up and cook him tomorrow. And I'll show you something about the belly here. How to take that off and cook it the right way. It's my favorite part of redfish right here. Alright, so I just caught that red on the other half of this crab. Just pull the legs off, help chum the water. And my wife's calling me. But you just hook through the leg and I come out through the back just to get something to really hold it on the hook. Toss it right back to where we had it. Yeah, I already got the cops caught on us.
He's cool. He's like, you're all right for now, but if you're gonna head out, then you're good.
Well, I'm seeing a lot more fish moving around.
Well, I don't know where else I can park.
You can.
Said I can stay if I move the truck.
Yeah. If the boat wasn't there, normally I could have just pulled in. I could have pulled in straight, and then we could both park there. But
he said it's because somebody called and said I'm partially blocking the driveway.
Yeah.
The road.
It ain't fishing unless you get the cops called on you. Yeah. Remember when Florida you could kind of do what you wanted and no one cared?
Yeah.
And a bunch of people moved here from other places.
Yeah, they did.
And you can't do nothing.
There's not a spot behind you, is there?
Well, there's that little roundabout. There's no parking signs there.
Target roundabout. I might just take off.
All right. Well, it's like we got like maybe 15 minutes of light left.
Yeah.
Anyways. Huh? Glad you could come watch me catch fish.
Yeah. We'll let's do it again.
All right.
If you ever want to bass fish, I know a good little spot. I know
Okay.
a bunch of good spots.
Yeah, I don't know how to bass fish.
It's easy. I can teach you.
All right.
I put in at the beach down by Beach Boulevard where that all wet sports is.
Yeah, I know.
What creek that is, but there's some good bass in there. And then actually what we should do, if it's a weekend, down in Ponte Vedra, there's a place where you can, like, when the tide is up, you can put your car, or you can park in like the parking lot. It's like right there at the entrance to Marsh Landing.
Okay.
You could probably launch a kayak and a paddleboard, and you can get, I think it goes all the way back into Marsh Landing, and I've heard of people catching like tarpon and all kinds of stuff.
All right, well, I'm down for that.
I'll gonna do a screenshot of it so you can kind of see the aerial view. But I know there's bass in there, but I think if you go further back, pretty sure all those little ponds and retention ponds are all linked with culverts. But I think as you go further, if you get into the one side, I think you can get back and go around and like deep into Marsh Landing. I never looked too far because I've always just fished from the shore, but it'd be kind of cool.
All right, let me know.
Yeah, man. All right. Well, that was getting home.
Yeah. Later.
I'll see you. Happy Father's Day, but I'll see you.
Oh yeah, same to you. But I'm gonna reel it in. We're gonna call it a day. I'll see you back at the house, and maybe tomorrow morning we'll, or probably tomorrow evening. It's Father's Day tomorrow, so we'll flay up that redfish and maybe cook it. I'm gonna show you what I think is the best way to clean a redfish. So I like to start by coming in here and cutting this bone right here. A little muscle, just separate that. And then it's the same thing here. Come in under the gills. And then start cutting what I call the belly meat out. So there you go. Flip it over, do the same thing. Here. Cut all the way down. Alright, and this part I can't show you. So we'll take everything that we don't want out, because YouTube doesn't like it when they show you show them gutting fish. So 1 second, these out. All right, so you got the belly out. Just come right behind the fin. Take the tip of the knife and run it along the backbone. It's real easy. Over the spine, come through, press down, and come out. Now you just hold the meat and slowly come along, just like any other fish. Get to the pin bone right here. And come over the rib cage. Redfish don't have much meat on the rib cage, so you can just kind of cut it out. Just right over the back ribs. One fillet, flip it over to the same thing. Once you got your two fillets, just come in here, skin them, and you're just pulling the skin over the knife. Not really doing much with a knife, you're letting the skin do most of the work, or the meat do most of the work. There's one. Go, another fillet. This right here is the best spot. Right here, a lot of people will leave this on the fish and discard it, but to me this is the dark meat of the fish. Completely different texture. It's really good. We'll cook it up and I'll show you exactly what it looks like, and maybe you try it yourself. So we're going to start by cutting the fish into more uniform pieces, that way they cook evenly. Bigger pieces, little bigger pieces, and then this is small spots here. And then for the belly, there's a little bit of a membrane in here that you just want to grab it and pull it off. little meat came with it that time, but all right, there you go. Just throw this away. And then we're going to season with a little bit of sea salt. And we're going to throw some Chef's Paw Redfish Magic. I like to put a little bit of salt with this because this stuff doesn't have a lot of salt in it. So I add a little bit just to make sure. Get enough, flip it over, do the same thing. Obviously on the throat, you don't have to do the other side because it's just scales. I leave the scales on. Some people will descale it before they cut it out, but I just leave it on. You're mainly picking the meat off one side anyways. All right, so we'll get the cast iron fired up and get it cooking. So we're cutting up some zucchini. We're just gonna put it in a pan and cook it in the oven with some garlic and olive oil. But that's gonna be our base for our fish that we're gonna blacken, and we're also gonna do some white rice. So we got that in the rice cooker getting ready. But yeah, should be good. A lot lighter meal, but nothing crazy. Nothing y'all can't do at home. That. All right, I went ahead and peeled the garlic. You know, who wants to watch someone peeling garlic? So just gonna chop this up. We'll sprinkle it on top after we season everything. So we're gonna spray it with some olive oil to get everything to stick. If you don't have one of these, it's awesome, just on Amazon. I put a link in the description about how to do that, so I'm not gonna worry with it. Mix this all in together. Toss our garlic on top. It's one of the nice things about having butcher block countertops. You can just use them as a cutting board and then clean it up. Just as long as you take care of it, it works great. And one less thing you have to clean, like over the sink, if you had a cutting board or something else, it just makes it a little easier. So we got the oven set to 425. We're just gonna pop them in, leave them in there until they're done. And heating up, so we're gonna throw in some olive oil. Pretty decent bit. Just let that get warmed up, and then we'll throw butter in, and then we'll put our fish on. I like to put olive oil in the pan along with butter. It helps the butter not burn. Oh yeah, heat it quick. Let that all mix in together. Let that warm back up, and then we'll throw our fish on. do the thicker pieces first, just so they're gonna take the longest to cook. Oh, it smells so good already. But today's kind of a cool day. Well, actually yesterday, because we went out, tide was too low, the dock was tore apart. Took forever to get down there because that little redneck trolley I made was falling apart. Went back 2 hours later, see the tide came back in. It hadn't. Came back 12 hours later, which if you know anything about tides, it's going to be low tide again after 12 hours. Went out there with Jordan, still was too low, was way lower than I thought it'd be. Go back to the truck. Head somewhere else. It's too low to go in on the paddleboard there or kayak, so we just decided to fish from the bridge, and all the live bait we had had died. So somebody was emptying out their bait trap because it was low tide, and they had a blue crab. They gave it to me, so someone being nice is why I had live bait. Tossed it on there and ended up catching the fish off of it. And on the opposite side of that, we had someone call the cops on us because they said we were parked in the road, which we weren't in the road. But I get it, a lot of people got there and parked, some people blocked the road, we weren't, but just the complete opposite of charity, just, you know, kind of being a nuisance to people that live out here. But I guess that's when you have a lot of influx of people that are from this area, that sense of southern hospitality people that grew up around here had. You see people fishing, enjoying themselves, not inside watching TV, and you think they'd be, you know, excited for you, happy that you're not doing something else. But instead, because you're around their house, they don't want you there. They don't want you fishing on their bridge. They don't want you, you know, enjoying the outdoors, because I guess it makes them feel uncomfortable. I don't know. It's just weird, but that's just where we live right now. But these things are ready to flip. Thought it could be a little bit hotter. Get a better sear on them. Not bad. One of the keys with cooking with cast iron, always be kind of moving the pot handle from side to side, because some parts warm up faster than others. It just helps you cook a little more evenly when you're, you know, every couple minutes just moving the pot around. So. But this is what I'm most excited about. Right here, fins are still on it. I still have scales on it. But just wait till you see what the meat looks like after we cook that. This one wasn't very big. It was about a 20.5-inch redfish, but it wasn't a fat redfish. Still got a good bit of meat off of it, but the belly wasn't real big. I could have cut up a little higher and got a little bit more meat, but that's still gonna be real good. All right, these are ready to come off. And we'll put these on. So for this, I like to cook it face down first, and then finish it on the back side. So I like to get a good sear on it to start off. So these are going to cook pretty quickly, but that's going to take a little bit more time. So the throat's done. That's what it looks like on the back side. But I normally let it cook a long time on the back side because it's pretty thick and to get it all the way done. But yeah, let's get the zucchini out of the oven. We cut out some onions and threw in there. I forgot we had onions. I thought we were out, but apparently not. So got that. The rice is done, so we'll put a plate together and just let me know what you think. Our vegetables. All right, we got our fish. This piece as well. And this right here, which I want to show you this. So on regular redfish, like this big chunky flaky meat, on this It's thin and stringy. So the texture is similar to scallops, or it's just that stringy, thin meat. I'm not saying it tastes like scallops, but the texture is really similar and it's awesome. So we're gonna sit down and eat. Thanks for watching. We'll see y'all next time.